After you have your chain stitches, you're going to do your first row, and we're going to start with single crochet. We don't go into the first stitch on the hook, that's the one that has the yarn coming out of it. We're going to go into the second stitch from the hook, and you're going to take your hook and go into the center of that V so that you get one leg of the stitch, that top leg of the chain on your hook, and you're going to draw the yarn through the chain on the hook to create a loop. Then you're going to yarn over and draw through both loops. When you do a stitch, you'll see that that stitch that you made is stretched out. Your next stitch is the one adjacent to it to the left that is not stretched out. Go into the stitch, the chain stitch from front to back, getting that top leg of the stitch, yarn over the hook, draw the yarn through, yarn over the hook, and draw through both. The last stitch is going to be the loop right before your slip knot, and you'll feel that knot there with your finger and thumb. To count your stitches, you're going to count the V's along the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We started with 13 and we went into the second chain from the hook, so we used up one of our 13 chains, and that leaves us with 12 stitches. So here's your first row of single crochet worked into your foundation chain. In crochet, you have to do what's called a turning chain to get the height of the next stitch. To work your next row, you're going to turn that piece of fabric over. So your hook is positioned with the loop at the beginning at the right, and the rest of the fabric is going off to your left, and it may curl. So we're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, and pull it through. Now we're going to go into the first stitch. That first stitch is right there. Ignore that big loop there, I can pull that snug. So I'm going in to that space there, and when I turn my fabric up, you know you've gone in the right place if you see both legs of the V on your hook. I'm holding on to the chain with my finger and thumb to give me proper tension, yarn over the hook, draw through that stitch, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and draw through those loops. Again, you can see there's my stretched out stitch that I just worked, and the one next to it is not stretched out. Go in, go into the next stitch. When you turn it up, you can see you're in the right place. If you see both legs of the V, yarn over, draw through the single crochet stitch, yarn over, draw through 2. And we're going to do this for the remaining stitches in our crochet sample. Now, one thing that people often have trouble with is knowing where that last stitch is. So there's a couple ways you can find it. So you might come to the end here and figure you're done because this looks kind of wilted. So if I count my V's, I'll know how many I've worked. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I need 12. So that means this wilted stitch here is my last stitch. So if we look at it and I kind of flip it over, you can see the V had kind of curled in on itself. So it doesn't really present the same way as its preceding stitches. So I'm going to go in there and catch the first leg and then the second leg. And you can see that it lines up evenly on either side.